Hello students. Now we are going to start a new subject. The name of subject is analog electronics. See, analog electronics. Many person called it analog circuits, okay, but both the things are same, analog electronics or analog circuits. There is nothing difference. The weightage of this subject is, for EC branch, this subject is core subject, okay. This is very important subject and core subject. The weightage of this subject to the EC branch is 8 marks to 12 marks, okay. Then for electrical engineering, for electrical branch, the weightage is up to 6 marks, up to 6 marks, 6 marks. And remember one thing, for electrical engineering, the questions on analog circuits is very simple. The question on this topic for electrical engineering is very simple and a straightforward question. But for EC, the questions is complicated, tough questions, okay. Now for instrumentation engineering, it is also 6 to 8 marks, so 6 to 8 marks, okay. Now the question is that all of we know that the recent trend, or nowadays we are moving towards the digital platform, okay, everything is going towards the digital platform. Then why we are studying this subject analog electronics, okay. This is a main confusion, and why this subject are most important, okay, why the importance of this subject is given. We know that all the natural signals are analog signals, all the natural signals are analog signal, not a digital. Digital signals means what? It will be a 0 1 1 0, okay. See, means we can say all the natural signals are analog signals, just like hearing, listening of musics, everything is a variation in a temperature, it's analog, not digital. That's why every digital signal is finally converted into analog for the physical purposes, okay. What we do actually, first we convert an analog signal into digital and then process it into a digital, then after that we will move towards the again analog. Now that's why this subject is so important. After this basic discussion, we will discuss something about the basics of semiconductor. What is semiconductor? What is the difference between conductor and semiconductor, insulator, okay. See, first of all, before starting, we will discuss two important things. What is electrical engineering? Electrical engineering. Electrical engineering, and what is electronics engineering? Electronics engineering. What is electrical engineering and what is electronics engineering? See, there is something different. What is meant by electrical engineering and electronics engineering? Electrical engineering means the branch of engineering which deals with the study, which deals with the movement of the electrons in a conductor, which deals with the movement of the electrons in the conductor. See, what is electrical engineering? It is the branch of engineering, it is the branch of engineering which deals with the study of movement of electrons in conductor, electrons in conductor. See, the two important words, one is study of the movement of electrons in a conductor, okay. But what is the definition of electrical engineering? The electrical engineering, it is a branch of engineering which deals with the study of movement of we can say that the charge carrier or holes and electrons. Charge carriers, that is electrons and holes in semiconductor. See, in metal there is only one type of carrier, that is electron, okay, and in a semiconductor there are two type of carriers, what is electrons and holes. There is no holes in a conductor, there is nothing, the concept of hole present in a conductor. Conductor is basically a unipolar device, okay, unipolar material, we can say that conductor is a unipolar and the semiconductor is bipolar. In a semiconductor there are two types of carriers, charge carriers are present, one is electron and another one is hole. But see, in the electrical engineering we study this movement of the charge carrier electrons in a conductor, but in electronics engineering it's a semiconductor. Remember, this point is very important, okay. Now see, what is the difference between conductor and semiconductor, okay. Conductor or semiconductor. See, this is a conductor, I think all of you should know this energy band diagram. You must have studied in your first year or second year in engineering. See, this is a conduction band and this is a valence band. There is no any energy gap available in between conduction band and valence band in case of conductor. But in case of semiconductor, there is some energy gap. Conduction band, this is valence band. See, here this is some energy gap. This is called as EC and this is EV. What is EV? EC is the edge of conduction band, energy available at the edge of conduction band, and EV is energy available at the edge of valence band. And now the difference of this energy is called, this is called as EG. The difference of this energy is called as EG, or EG is EC minus EV. This is energy gap, or this energy gap is also known as forbidden energy gap, forbidden gap, okay. You must have studied these things in your first year or second year in engineering, okay. This is the difference. Now see, what happens if there is some electron present here, this there is no any gap, means indirectly this is present here also, okay. But what happen in semiconductor, this facility is not available, this is the difference. In conductor there is only one type of carrier, which is known as electron. There is no any concept of hole in a case of conductor. There is no any concept of hole in case of conductor. Only the electrons is carrier. Means, can I say charge carrier is only electron, only electrons. That's why the conductor is called as unipolar. That's why the conductor is called as unipolar. Conductor is called as unipolar. See, But in case of semiconductor, there are two types of charge carrier. There are two types of charge carriers. Which two types? One is electrons and another one is holes. Two types of charge carriers are available. This is carrying a negative charge, electron is carrying negative charge, and hole is carrying positive charge. That's why this semiconductor is called as bipolar. Unipolar, this is unipolar in nature. This is bipolar in nature. Okay, bipolar in nature. We can say that in a conductor, the current will flow due to only the movement of electrons. But in case of semiconductor, the current will flow due to the contribution of both electrons and holes. See what happened actually. We know that this is a crystal structure of the semiconductor. See, I know, and we know that all the semiconductors are the fourth group of element lying in the fourth group of the periodic table. Means there is a 4 valence electrons available here. See, it recombined with other also. There is no any need to draw so much long diagram. This is a basic crystal structure, physical structure of the semiconductor. Which type of semiconductor? Intrinsic semiconductor. Now, if you want to convert intrinsic semiconductor into an N-type, then you have to dope it with a pentavalent atom. Suppose I doped a pentavalent atom just like a phosphorus. I am changing, and here is one extra electron will come. In pentavalent atom, there are 5 electrons in outermost orbit. See, this type of electron, out of which 4 electrons are in covalent bond. This is called as covalent bond. This type of bonding is called as covalent bonding. Remember one thing also, in conductor there is a metallic bonding. And in case of semiconductor there is a covalent bonding. Okay, see here. There are total 5 electrons available in the outermost orbit of the pentavalent atom, out of which 4 electrons are in the covalent bond of the other atoms. See here, and 1 electron is bonded with the parent atom, not in a covalent bond, but it is in the parent atom, bonded with the parent atom. See, this is the energy level of this 5th electron. This is the energy level of this 5th electron. Okay, this 5th electron is not present in a conduction band, not in a valence band, because in a valence band there is only a covalent bonds are present. Or this energy level is called as ED. ED stands for donor energy level. Actually, what happened when you give some energies in the form of light, heat, or by connecting some external voltages, if you give some energy, what happened? This electron will excited, and this electron will try to jump here and try to become free. It will free. Okay, see what happened when it will be free. This electron will jump from a donor energy level and goes to the conduction band. See here, and here the vacant place is available, just like this. Okay, now see, after donating the electron, that's why it is called as donor energy level. It is donating the electron, extra electron. What happens when we give some energy? Listen very carefully. When we give the energy in the form of light or heat, okay, this electron, see, this electron will jump from this donor energy level to the conduction band, and here a vacant place is created. This place is called ions. Okay, by donating the electrons with negative charge, it gains the positive charge. Okay, and this is called as immobile ions. Immobile ions, immobile positive ions. We can say that immobile positive ions. Okay, see, immobile positive ion. And at the same time, let's say this covalent bond will be broken. After giving the energy, at the same time this covalent bond will break, and from here one electron will be free. One electron will free and move into the conduction band. And here, after releasing the electron, there will be again a positive charge. This positive charge is called as hole. This positive charge is called as hole. Means, can I say, what is the actual definition of hole? What is the actual definition of hole? See, most of the student knows that the hole is the deficiency of electron, but that is not a perfect definition. That is not a fully correct definition. What is the actual definition of hole? See, hole is the deficiency. Hole is the deficiency of electrons or negative charge in breaking covalent bond or in broken covalent bond. Covalent bond. See, this word is very, very important. Broken covalent bond. Okay, broken covalent bond. You must remember this thing. Broken covalent bond, not elsewhere. See, when the electron will leave from this place, it will become ion, and when the electron leave the covalent bond, here the holes will created. Now, see in this structure, what happen actually? When the electron will jump from this point, it goes here. Here a hole is present. Okay. Now see, there are two electrons. One covalent bond is breaking, one covalent bond is broken. Okay, and only one hole is created, but two electrons are created. That's why we can say that in n-type semiconductor, electrons are majority carrier and holes are minority carrier. Okay. See, this is called as immobile ion, immobile positive ion, and this is called as hole. This is called as hole. Now, what happen actually? This electron will freely move in a conduction band and contribute some current, and this hole will freely move in valence band and contribute some amount of current. This is a principle of bipolar. Okay, I think all of you should understood this thing properly. What is the concept of hole? Okay, what is the immobile ions? Each and everything. Now, see here, after knowing this basic concept of semiconductor, will move towards our main subject. What is the analog electronics? No, this is not analog electronics. This is a simple concept of EDC. Okay, and all of you should know these concepts. What is the semiconductor? How it actually works? Now, before going to further discussion, I will discuss some important point regarding the PN junction device. Okay, see what happened actually. In n-type semiconductor, remember this thing. In n-type semiconductor, what is present? In n-type semiconductor, there is a positive immobile ions with negative electrons. Positive immobile ions with the, just like this. Positive immobile ions are present with the electrons. Just like this. What is available in this n-type semiconductor? positive immobile ion, electrons, and some covalent bonds, Okay, remember this thing. What is the inside of p-type semiconductor? What is present in a p-type semiconductor? See, in p-type semiconductor there will be a negative immobile ion. See, there is a bonding. This is positively charged ion, this is negatively charged electron. There is a bonding force, okay, between the electrons and the ions. Immobile ion means ions which contains the charge, but it cannot move, okay. See, same. In case of p-type semiconductor, this is a negative ion containing a negative charge, but it cannot move. That's why it is called as immobile. With the positive charge, there is a bonding force, force of bonding, force of attraction. Okay, and some covalent bonds are present in this. Okay, see. Now, we will move towards some important concept regarding the p-n junction. See, how the depletion layer developed or created inside the p-n junction. See, if you join the p-type or n-type material, p-type or n-type semiconductor, join means we cannot directly join. Let's see, this is a p-type, this is n-type, and we will join. This is not possible. We cannot join this. But simply for easy understanding, I am saying when we will join p-type or n-type, what happens? See, what is which type of carriers and what things are present, which type of things are present in a p-type semiconductor. In p-type semiconductor, there is some negative ion with holes, this is present, okay. And in n-type semiconductor, positive ions with electrons. See, this is a positive ions with electrons. Positive ion with electron. When we will join, for understanding, for simple understanding, I am saying join. Okay, when we will join this p-type or n-type material, what happen inside? See, here in a p-type, hole is a majority carrier and electron is a minority carrier. Okay, means the concentration of the electron in this side is very less, and the concentration of electron in this side is very high. Concentration of electron in this side is very high. Okay, concentration of electron in this side is very less, concentration of electron in this side is very high. Similarly, the concentration of hole in p-type is very high here, and the concentration of hole in n-type semiconductor is very less. What happen actually? The electron, the higher concentration of electron is available here, and what happen? Electron will diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration. Will try to diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration, and similarly the hole will try to diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration. And what happen? They will recombine. They will recombine with each other. Now see, what is the recombination? In textbook there is always written a recombination, and I am saying after recombination the both electrons and hole will lost. What is mean by lost? What is mean by lost? See here, what happen actually in energy band diagram. See here, this is energy band diagram of semiconductor. Let this is a n-type, okay, or no need to say n-type or p-type, EC, EV. Let's see, this is a conduction band, this is valence band. Okay. Now, if you give some energy, just like this, if you give some energy, what happen? The electrons present in a covalent bond. Let's see, this is a covalent bond. Now, there are two electrons present. A covalent bond, there are two electrons are present. What happen when you give some energy in the form of light, heat, or by connecting some external energy sources? This covalent bond will break, and this covalent bond will break, and this electron will jump from this point to and becomes free. What happens? This electron will jump to the conduction band and become free. Now this hole will move freely in valence band and contribute some current, and this electron will move in a conduction band and will contribute some amount of current. After some time, when this electron loses some energy and try to again come back their home, means what is mean by home? In valence band, okay, and again recombine with this hole. This process is called as recombination. Then what happen? See, when this electron will again come back and recombine with this hole, again the covalent bond will create, again the covalent bond will create. Means what happen? When this electron will return to the valence band, both electron and hole will recombine with each other, and they do not participate in the flowing of current. Means there is no any discussion. Means the carriers which do not participate in the flowing of current, that type of carrier is not useful for us. Okay, that's why I am saying after recombination the hole and electron will lost. Definitely after recombination the hole and electron both will lost. Lost means the electrons and holes is present in that semiconductor itself, but now they are in a covalent bond. Okay, they are not free. Similarly, what happened? Means can I say after recombination, remember this thing, after recombination both electrons and holes will lost. Okay, see here what happened when this electron will diffuse from n side to p side, and this hole will diffuse from p side to n side. This electron and hole will recombine with each other, okay. And see here in this region only the ions will available, and these ions cannot move. This is called as immobile ions. Now means see there is some difference, there is some gap between this n type material and this p type material. Okay, see what is this? This is a positive ion, this is negative electron. Positive ion, negative electron, means can I say n type semiconductor is electrically neutral. Remember one thing, all the semiconductors are electrically neutral always. There is a misconception that the n type semiconductor is negatively charged, positively charged, p type semiconductor is positively charged. This is a misconception. Remember one thing, n type, p type, it may be intrinsic or extrinsic, whatever, all the semiconductors are electrically neutral always. Okay, it's a very, very important point. Here is also this hole is positively charged and this ion is negatively charged, means this is also electrically neutral. Means this portion is called as neutral area. Neutral area. And this is depletion region. Okay, depletion region. And see, there is no any charge carrier available, means there is no any holes or electrons available in the depletion layer, only the ions available in the depletion layer and some covalent bonds, because after recombining this electron and hole there is a covalent bond now. See, now this diffusion opposes the further diffusion. Definitely this diffusion will oppose the further diffusion, of this electron from this place to this place. See, now we know that when the charge is stationary, it produces an electric field just like this. If it is a positive, just like this. The charge is stationary, it will produce the electric field. If it is a negative charge, it is just like this. There is only difference, conversion and diversion. Okay. Means what happened? This stationary charge will produce some electric field inside the depletion layer. Inside the depletion layer. Okay. And this electric field, due to the electric field, there is some potential difference. There is some potential difference called V naught. And this V naught is called as contact potential, junction potential. Okay. This is called as contact potential or junction potential. This is a junction, this is properly a junction, and this is a depletion width. I think all of you should understood this, how the depletion layer creates it, how the depletion layer is generated. After this, we will discuss some important point about the PN junction, that is what happening when we forward bias it or when we reverse bias it. See, and now this is a open circuit PN junction. This is a open circuit PN junction, and what is the depletion width? Width is 2 epsilon by q in bracket 1 by Na plus 1 by Nd into V naught. Okay. Or see now what happened when we forward bias it. What is the meaning of forward bias? Means a positive terminal of the battery is connected to the P side, and when the negative terminal of the battery is connected to N side, that type of biasing is called as forward biasing. And see what happened. This positive polarity will try to repel or will force this hole to move into the depleted area, in depleted area, this area. Okay. Now see, I am assuming that this and this hole will also recombine, and the width of depletion layer will this. Width of the depletion layer will this. Okay. This is the width of depletion layer. I am extending this contact potential. What happened actually? See here. This positive polarity, positive terminal, positive polarity, positive supply will try to force, repel this hole and move towards the depletion layer, depleted area. Now the depletion layer is there. Okay. What happened when this positive polarity will repel or try to move this hole to the N type? This immobile ion, this negative immobile ion gets their charge back, okay, and becomes neutral, gets their charge back and becomes neutral. Similarly, this negative polarity will try to force or repel this electron to this depleted area, means this positive immobile ion will get their lost charge back, will get their lost charge again back. Then what happens? See, initially the depletion width is this. Now this is this ion gets their charge, this ion gets their charge, means it becomes neutral, and the depletion width is decreases. Now this is the depletion width. This is the depletion width. Means can I say, when the diode or PN junction is forward biased, the depletion width is decreases. And again see, and depletion width is decreases, and the ions present in the depletion width will also decrease. Means can I say, this contact potential will also decrease, will also increase, will also decrease, the contact potential will also decrease. This is the effect happening inside the PN junction when it is forward biased. Means we can say that when we will forward bias the PN junction, the depletion width decreases, and the contact potential will also decrease. And what will be the width of depletion? Just like subtract this voltage Vf. How much it will decrease? It will decrease by this forward voltage. Okay, and the width of depletion layer, depletion width in forward bias PN junction is this. I think all of you should understood this properly. Now see, what happen when it will be for reverse bias? When it will be reverse bias. See, now see, this is Assume this is a depletion width, okay, open circuit depletion width. Now it will reverse bias. Reverse bias means the negative terminal of the battery is connected to the positive side and positive terminal of the battery is connected to the negative side. Okay, this is called as reverse voltage. Now see what happened actually. This negative polarity will attract this hole, and will attract this hole here in this way, and this positive polarity will attract this electron in this way. Okay. Now see what happened actually, this electron, these ions will lost their charge, this ion will lost their charge, and the depletion width increases. This is the depletion width. Means, can I say in reverse bias the depletion width of p-n junction increases. In reverse bias the depletion width of p-n junction is increases. And now the depletion width will be V0 plus VR. V0 plus VR. See, if the depletion width increases, the ions present in the depletion width will also increase, and the contact potential will also increase, How much it will increase? It will increase by the reverse voltage VR. It will increase by the reverse voltage VR. Okay. See, it will increase up to the voltage VR. Means what happened, by increasing or the decreasing the reverse voltage, we can increase or decrease the depletion width. Some student asked by increasing or decreasing the forward voltage we can also increase or decrease the depletion width, but what happened actually, by increasing or decreasing the forward voltage we cannot increase or decrease the depletion width as much. Okay, the increment decrement is very less. It's a practical answer. Okay, there is no such derivations, mathematical expression. Okay, but by varying the reverse voltage we can increase or decrease the depletion width considerably large. Okay, there is a decrement or increment is much more. See, means whenever we want to increase or decrease the depletion width, then we will use the reverse bias concept. We will use the reverse bias concept. Okay, this is the entire discussion about the p-n junction. Now see, one thing we will discuss about the p-n junction that is very, very important. Suppose this is a p-n junction diode, see here, this is P, this is N, and assume this is a depletion layer and this is a contact potential, and here the ions is available. In p type there is a negative immobile ion and n type positive immobile ion. Here the just like this. See here, or assume just like this much depletion width. Okay, this much depletion width. Sorry, I am extending this depletion width. Here I am also extending the depletion width. Okay, now assume this is the depletion width. Okay, in depletion width only the ions is available, only the ions are available in the depletion width, and this is the contact potential, this is the contact potential. Okay, now if you increase the temperature, then what will happen inside the depletion width, and what will be the effect on contact potential if the temperature increases. See what happen, if you increase the temperature, if you increase this temperature, the covalent bond available in the depletion layer will break. The covalent bond available in the depletion layer will break down, and from there electrons and holes will generate. We know that actually electrons and holes will generate from the breaking covalent bond. And the see, remember two things. First, depletion layer, depletion width or depletion layer. Inside depletion width, inside depletion width, there are two things. One is immobile ions and covalent bond. If the temperature increases, the covalent bond inside this depletion layer will break, and equal number of will break, and what happen, equal number of electrons and holes will generate. Electrons and holes will generate. Equal number of electrons and holes will generate. Equal number of electrons and holes will generate. Now, we already know that, see, this is a covalent bond. If you increase the temperature or gives the energy in the form of light, heat or some external energy, this covalent bond will break and equal number of electrons or holes will generate. Then what happen? This immobile ions gets their charge back, after breaking covalent bonds. And see, if these ions get their charge back, see, if these electrons get their charge back, then what happen? This ions getting their charge back and moves to the neutral area, and these ions will move to the neutral area. This ion will also move to the neutral area. This ion will also move to the neutral area, and that's why the depletion width will decrease. Depletion width will decrease, and the contact potential will also decrease. Means, can I say, if the temperature increases, the contact potential of the junction will decrease. The contact potential of the junction will decrease. Okay. If the temperature increases, the contact potential of the junction will decrease. Remember this thing. This is very, very important, and this will help you in a BJT topic. Okay, bipolar junction transistor. Means, can I say how much it will decrease? The question is how much it will decrease. See, dV naught by dt equals to, its range is minus 2.3 millivolt to minus 2.5 millivolt. This is written like this. Remember, this is important concept. dV naught by dt equals to minus 2.3 millivolt to minus 2.5 millivolt. Okay, it's very, very important. Remember this. After increment in a temperature, the covalent bond inside the depletion layer will break and equal number of electrons or holes will generate. Due to that, the ions present in the depletion layer will get their charge back, and again moves to the neutral area, and becomes, due to that region, the depletion width decreases and again the contact potential decreases. But how much it will decrease? It will decrease minus 2.3 millivolt to minus 2.5 millivolt per degree centigrade. Remember this thing, per degree centigrade. Okay. This is the some basic concept regarding the PN junction, semiconductor or conductor. Remember these points is very, very important. Okay. One is recombination is also very important point. Recombination is also very important point. By knowing these basic concepts, we will move towards our main subject, analog electronics, and this basic concept will help you, will definitely help you to understand the analog electronics. Okay. Before going to break, we will discuss one more problem, one more important concept. See, what is that concept? I think all of you should know these things. What is mean by VAB? VAB means VA minus VB. Okay, VA minus VB. It means that point A is, I am writing point A is at higher potential than point B. Point A is at higher potential than point B. Means, can I say VAB equals to minus VBA? Both are same. See how. VAB equals to VA minus VB, and what will be the minus VBA? Minus, put this minus sign here, and can I say VB minus VA? Now multiply this minus sign, minus VB plus VA. Means, can I write VA minus VB? Similarly, this thing, both are same. VAB equals to minus VBA. Remember, this will help you when we are going to put some polarities across the BJT junctions. Okay. Now, see, if it is given that VA equals to plus 4 volt, what is mean by this? Let this is a point A. Okay. And it is given that the potential at this point is plus 4 volt. What is mean by it? This is mean that the positive terminal of the battery is connected to this point A, and the negative terminal is connected to the ground or common point, connected to the ground. See, this symbol is same. It's a go. Both this all these symbols are same. Okay. Remember, this is called as VA. Now, if you want to measure this VA, is it correct or not? See, if you want this VA, let put here VA and apply the KVL. Again, we will get minus VA plus 4 equals to 0. So VA will be 4 volt. It's a correct. Now see, if anybody gives us that VA equals to minus 4 volt, what does mean by this? This point A to this is the point A, and the negative terminal of the battery is connected to the ground. Negative terminal of the battery is connected to the ground. Sorry, negative terminal of the battery is connected to that point, and positive terminal of the battery is connected to ground, and you can write this is a 4 volt. There is no any need to write the here. There is no any need to write the negative sign here, because it's reflected in this sign. Okay, one more thing. See, VA equals to minus 4 volt. It is written. Can I write this plus minus 4 volt? Okay. Now see, this is also a same thing. This is point A. We can connect here. This is in this way because this is a plus sign, and we can represent this is minus 4 volt. Or obviously this is minus na, means if you reverse this polarity, it will become plus. It will become plus, just like this. Okay, means from now, can I say whenever the positive terminal of the battery is connected to ground, that will be the negative supply. Whenever the positive terminal of the battery is connected to ground, that will be the negative supply. That will be the negative supply. Remember this. This will help you lot in case of BJT. Whenever the whenever the positive terminal of the battery is connected to ground, that will be the negative supply. That will be the negative supply. Okay. Remember these things, all these things are same. See, if you want to check this also, you can check. See, this is VA, apply the KVL in this loop, it's a plus 4. If you move in this direction, this will be a plus 4 and this will be plus VA equals to 0. Therefore, VA will be minus 4 volt. VA will be minus 4 volt. Okay. After studying these much things, we will start our main subject, analog electronics. Okay. The books or the reference books for analog electronics for GATE, there is no need to follow the books, reference books, because whatever I will teach you, it will be very sufficient for you. Okay, not reference books required. Even you want to note the books, you preferred basically one is Milliman Halkias, it's a nice book, it's a basic book regarding the semiconductor, it will be helpful for you in EDC and analog also. And one is Sidra Smith, but the book is so heavy. Sidra Smith book is a very heavy book, nice book and heavy book also. Okay. But there is, I think there is no need to follow the books. Whatever I will teach you, that will be sufficient for your GATE examination, and we can solve all questions. We can solve all the questions related with the GATE, asked in a GATE examinations. Okay. After break, we will discuss our main subject. After break, we will discuss our main subject, analog electronics, and we will start with the BJT topic. Okay.